Hello, in this video we're going to talk about how to write an equation of a line given 2 points. Previously we have only been able to do that in slope-intercept form, or y is equal to mx plus b. And now that we have slope or point slope, which is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. That's going to make this process go a little bit faster. Quickly, as I write this equation, you are going to notice I put parentheses around my y's. This is just coming from how, again, I was taught this and how I've always used this. The parentheses around the y's don't matter, they're grouping parentheses. Previously, when we went to write an equation using slope-intercept form, we had to do work to find both m and b. With point-slope form, because we don't need the y-intercept, we just need a point, I don't have to do that work. So if you were given a choice, how do I write an equation, what equation of a line do I use, it is almost always going to be better to use point-slope. The one time it may not be is if you're already given the y-intercept, and even then you can still plug it into point-slope and be fine. So we're not going to use that. In order to write an equation in point-slope form, I need a point and I need slope. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find my slope. And I have my x's and I have my y's. I'm going to name the first point, point 1, and the second point, point 2. Now, we have talked about the slope formula. I say slope, I write m. As I write this equation, I don't want you to think this is a brand new thing. Slope is the change in y over the change in x. Right? What we're finding when we use this equation is how much change that is. As I am saying, oh, hey, find that change, the other way we can think about it is, hey, if I have, for example, 5, right, I'm looking up at the top and I'm looking at my first point and I say, hey, I want to go from 5 to 8. How many points did I go? Well, on a number line, if I'm going from here to here, right, I go 1, 2, 3. Okay, because I just went from 5 to 8, we'll talk about, oh, hey, let's go from -9 to 12. I'm going to cheat because this is a much bigger number line. To go from -9 to 12, the first thing I do is go from -9 to 0. There's 9. I go from 0 to 12. That's 12 more. So this would be 21. As I'm showing you these number lines, this is another way to think about it. I'm going to erase this and use the equation in just a second. If this helps you more than the equation, use that. If that makes it more confusing, ignore it and use the equation. The one thing I want you to notice is that I started for this at point 1 and went to point 2 for both the x and the y. I'm always going in the same direction, right? If you watch this blue circle, I'm going from here to here. Okay. Now let's say I actually use the equation. What that's going to look like is I choose what point is first and what point is second. So I'll use point 2, and the y-coordinate of point 2 is 8. What that means is the very first number for x, or my denominator of this, is going to be 12. And then I would write my y-coordinate for my first point and my x-coordinate for my second point. Notice I've lined these points up vertically. The same points are in the same color. Sorry. I would do that subtraction and still get 3 over 21. Finally, if you're looking at this, you're going, but wait, what if I switched it? Does it matter? No. Okay, if I switch it, and this is where you hear me saying it doesn't matter, I could do 0.1 first, then 0.2. So I would do 5 minus 8, and that's -3. -9 minus 12 is -21. -3 divided by 21 is the same as +3 over 21 because a negative divided by a negative is a positive. The one thing I will say while we're here, I believe we want our fractions reduced. So I would reduce this to 1 over 7. How I do that is I recognize that 3 goes into 21 7 times. I divide both the numerator and denominator by 3. Now, we've done a very extensive finding slope because that's all we really need. What I'm going to do, if I follow this green arrow, where I see m, I'm going to plug in the slope that I just found. And then I'm going to choose one of those 2 points. That guy, or let's use pink, this guy, right at the top of the screen. I just need one of them. I guess since I have pink out, I'll use the first point. It doesn't matter which one, I just need one. And I'm going to plug that into my equation as well. So what this is going to look like, as always, running out of room. Okay. The y coordinate from my point is +5. I flip the sign, it is now -5. My x coordinate from my point is -9. I flip the sign, I plug it in, it becomes +9. And notice, I put the y coordinate with the letter y and the x coordinate with the letter x. And then finally, the slope that we spent so much time talking about, 1/7, I put in front of our x piece. Okay, so in this video, what you've seen is we've found slope 2 or maybe 3 different ways. We then use that to write an equation through 2 points using the point slope form. If you're looking at this going, okay, but this video is a little bit longer than the slope intercept form, it's because we spend so much time talking about slope. As you're doing this, if you have any questions, please be sure to reach out. But otherwise, that is how we do this problem.